Well, a very good morning to you all. Today we will start with the lesson Dance Drama in Manipuri. Classical Manipuri dance is embedded in the dance drama of the region and is called the Rasa Leela. Rasa Leela is a common term used in many corners of the country. However, the presentation of it varies across the country. The Vaishnava movement brought about this concept and got propagated in the country. The term has a very ancient origin and could be traced to different Indian civilizations. Rasa Leela usually means dancing in groups. In the Rasa Leela, it is mainly Krishna and Radha dancing along with Radha's gopis. The concept was first introduced in Manipur by the then king Raja Bhagyachandra, who got himself converted into Vaishnavism in 1760s. The first rasa was conducted in 1779 and the first rasa introduced was Maharasa. This was initiated in the month of November or Kartik month. However, the rest of India celebrated Maharasa in the month of Ashwin or the full moon night, that is a month earlier to the Maharasa. Keeping that in mind, Rajarshi Bhagyachandra propounded Kunja Rasa in Ashwin Purnima. The Vasanta Rasa is performed in the spring during the festival of Holi. Nitya Rasa can be performed any time of the year except on the days of performance of the other three rasa as mentioned above. The other two rasa are Udukhal Rasa and Goshta Leela or Gopa Rasa, which does not include the gopis, and Radha and portrays the stories of child Krishna. It is important to note that at the start of the Rasa Leela, it is customary to observe Nata Sankirtana. The Rasa takes place in the Rasa Mandapa and has to be performed at the Govindaji temple first. Later, Rasas may be conducted in the temple called the Khullak Mandapa. The young girls and boys of around the age of 7 perform the role of Radha and Krishna. There is no age limit for the gopis. Maharas. Following the Srimad Bhagavata in 1779, the Maharasa was created. It is conducted in the Kartik Purnima. It was under Raja Bhagyachandra that the festival of Maharasa began. The festival was conducted for 5 days. In the Govindji temple of Manipur, the original verses were used with little alterations. In the village temples or the Khullak, some Bengali verses were added to the original verses. Maharasa uses the Achuba Bhangi Pareng and the Brindavan Bhangi Pareng as its two main components. The story is as follows. On the Sharat Purnima, that is the full moon day of autumn, in the forest near the banks of the river Jamuna, Lord Krishna engaged himself in playing his melodious flute. Hearing the flute tune, all the gopis rushed to meet him. For some time they danced together, but after a while Krishna asked them to go back to their houses and told them that women are responsible for the household chores and taking care of their husbands and children. Moreover, it was getting dark and the forest path was not safe. However, the gopis resisted and did not go back. They informed Krishna that for them Krishna was their only respite. Thus Krishna once again played and danced with them. The gopis in the meantime started feeling privileged and were flushed with pride. To teach them a lesson in the midst of Rasa Leela, Krishna leaves with one such gopi, Radhika or Radha. The engrossed gopis do not notice this. In the meanwhile, Radha now feels superior to the other gopis and wanting to take the advantage asked Krishna to carry her on his shoulder since she was very tired. Krishna complied, but the moment she was about to sit, Krishna disappeared. On the other side, gaining consciousness, the gopis realized that Krishna had fled, and while searching for him, they meet sad and sorrowful Radha, who narrates them the entire incident. Now all the gopis start meditating, and finally Krishna comes to each of them. The gopis feel to be dancing with Krishna in the famous song Eka Gopi Eka Shyama. This has also been known as the Gopi Gopal Rash. After the Rasa Leela, all the gopis go back to their houses. Kunja Rasa. India celebrates the Maharasa in the Ashwin Purnima, but in Manipur, Rajarshi Bhagachandra celebrated the Maharasa in Kartik Purnima as mentioned above. To be in accordance with the rest of India, the Gurus as well the king himself decided to conduct another Rasa in the Ashwin Purnima. Thus was the new Rasa, the Kunja Rasa was postulated. This Rasa mainly describes the season of Sharat along with verses from Sanatan Goswami's book Vaishnava Toshini. However, this Rasa does not have lots of expressions and dramatization. In the Rasa comprises of Achoba Bhangi Pareng, songs related to the season and other dance items like Mapop Jagoi with Tintal, Achoba with gopis who sing songs like Sharata Yamini, Baraja Kamini. Vasanta Rasa. As the name suggests, this Rasa is conducted in the Vasant Purnima. This is the time when Lord Krishna, Radha and the others perform the Leela in Vrindavan. This Rasa has been inspired from Jayadeva's Gita Govindam and Padakalpataru of the Vaishnavites. This is a dramatic Rasa which has been the contribution of Maharaja Bhagyachandra. The brief story of this Rasa is as follows. In the Purnima or in the evening of the Vasanta day, when the moon shone bright in the evening sky, the gopis brought gulal or colors and pitchkari in Vrindavan. They played with the colors and drenched Lord Krishna in the colored water. They were merrily enjoying with Radha and Krishna when suddenly Lord Krishna's eyes caught the sight of Chandrabuli, one of Radha's gopis, and he fled with her and spent the night with her. Seeing this, Radha broke down and was very depressed and thought that by doing this she was reduced to the status of any other gopis by her beloved Lord Krishna. Enraged by this act of her beloved, she goes to a forest and sits there absolutely drained and depressed. Meanwhile, Lord Krishna comes back and gets anxious at the absence of his beloved Radha. He goes in search of her, and after all his tireless striving, he finally reaches the forest where Radha sat crying. He begged a pardon from her desperately, but she was reluctant to even look at him. Finally, Lord Krishna bowed down to his bhakta, his beloved Radha, and seeks forgiveness. Seeing this, Radha forgives him, and once again they accept each other and dance joyously. The gopis are happy at this sight and together perform the Rasa Leela and then goes back home. This Rasa generally has the Radha Nartan at the beginning before the playing of Holi with colors and moving on with the story. Achoba Bhangi Pareng and Khurumba Bhangi Pareng are used in this Rasa. Nitya Rasa. This Rasa Leela was conceptualized by Maharaja Chandrakirti. The performance of this Ras does not have any specific time or date. It can be performed any time in a year. However, on the days of Maharas, Vasantaras and Kunja Rasa, this Rasa cannot take place. This is not related to any specific storyline and emphasizes on the dance styles and talas. Thus, it is also known as Nartan Rasa. Poet Karnapur was the first person to conceptualize this in his book Krishna Kaumadi. Later, poet Sri Krishna Das mentioned this in his book Govinda Lilamritam. The specialty of this rasa is that it is never performed in the Govindji temple. In the other rasas, we see Krishna playing the flute and arriving at Vrindavan, but in this we see that Vrindavan is decorated and set in the proper manner only when Krishna enters and the rasa takes place. Narad and Vrindavana play a major role in this because the entire storyline is based on the conversations between them. The rasa unravels all the actions Krishna undertakes in one day in details. It is an amalgamation of the Puranic as well the contemporary rasa. This rasa uses the Achuba Bhangi Pareng, Vrindavan Bhangi Pareng and Kurumba Bhangi Pareng. For a presentation of a Rasa Leela after the Nata Sankirtana, the introduction to the Rasa Leela which is going to be performed is given. Then the performance follows a serial. In every rasa, this serial is followed. Generally, it starts with the Ragamacha, and this Ragamacha is a rhythmic composition of the syllables of the pung, that is the mridangam that is played, that is a Manipuri mridangam. The Sutradhari or the main singer sings the particular raga. Each Rasa Leela has a particular raga of its own. Then comes the Vrindavan Varnan or the description of the Vrindavana. Vaishnava Vandana is the next prayer of the Vaishnava devotee. Then starts the Krishna Abhisara. Abhisara generally means setting out to meet the gopis by Krishna, and contrary to this is the Radha Gopi Abhisara, where Radha and Gopi sets out to meet Krishna. When they meet, the Jugal Roop Prarthana or praying for both the deities take place. Then the gopis decorate the mandali or the place of union. This is called the Mandali Sajan. The gopis now sing in different ragas, and after this a very important dance, Mapop Jagoi, the dance of the gopis, and this dance is chosen according to the seasons, that is of the Rasa Leela, and it is generally done in the villages also in the Kullaka Mandapas. The next one is a very important dance, the Bhangi Pareng, where it is taken to be a very solemn dance form. The Bhangi Pareng is one dance where the audience are not supposed to get up and go out of the mandapa. It is probably the height of devotion that in the Ras we see. Krishna Nartan, the next item in the repertoire, and it is a pure dance by Krishna. Then comes Radha Nartan, a pure dance by Radha. Then the offering to self, and finally Pushpanjali, that is the offering of flowers to the deities. And next everyone does prarthana or prayer, and then the arti is done, and after that everybody goes back home, and it is called the Griha Gamana. The Maitei word for singing is Ishai, and for dance it is Jagoi. So the dances on songs are called the Ishai Jagoi. The instrument played in the Rasa Leela for keeping rhythm is called the pung, the mridangam. It of course symbolizes the khol of Bengal. It has evolved from the khol of Bengal. While khol is made of clay, the pung is made of wood. The compositions of the syllables of pung are called the pung lol, that the bowls of pung, the pung lol. Hence, dances on the syllables of pung are called pung lol jagoi. The two rasas that deal about Krishna and his childhood deeds are Goshtalila and Udukhal Ras. Goshtalila, this ras can be broadly divided into two sequences, one being the conversations with Yashoda in their house Nandaloy, and the second being Gocharana or grazing the cows. In the former, Krishna's friends request Yashoda to let Krishna go to the field and play with them. However, his mother does not agree to their request. Her motherly instincts prohibit her to send Krishna with the other boys. However, when Balaram convinces her, she allows Krishna to go with them. She dresses up Krishna and asks him to show dances to her. Now Balaram and Krishna dance to please their mother. Yashoda now permits him to go to the field for grazing the cows. This is the end of the first sequence known as Nandagriha. The second part deals with Krishna going to the field with Balaram and other boys. This shows his friends dressed in different outfits and all playing the flute and playing in the midst of the fields. However, they suddenly realize that amongst them, the Devakul, some evil demons, the Ashura Kul have entered their group. Quickly they get into actions and Balaram kills one of them with his Dhenu and thus is known as the Dhenukashur, and Krishna kills with his bare hands the Bakashur. After this, everyone praises Krishna for his bravery and goes back happily. Udukhal Rasa. This rasa was introduced by Raja Chudachand and has been composed by Ojha Iboton Sharma and Ojha Kartombi Singh. This rasa is performed generally in the month of Kartik. It cannot take place in the Govindji temple. The Gurus of Manipur have adopted the stories of this rasa from the 10th chapter of Srimad Bhagavat, which describes the early childhood of Lord Krishna. The entire rasa talks of his birth and childhood days. These include his victories by killing the demons like Putana, Kaliya, Trinavarta and other such incidents. The stories of Nanichuri and Udakhal Bandhan are of special interest to the audience. It has a specific chrome to follow, which is as mentioned below. Gaurachandrika, priest Narada curses gods Nala and Kubera who take birth as two trees. King Kangsha imprisoned the biological parents of Krishna, Vasudeva and Devaki. Krishna takes birth and is carried to the house of Nanda in a stormy night. Krishna kills Putana when he was only 15 days old and Trinavarta when he was only a year old. In the house of Nanda, Jashoda and Rohini nurtures Krishna with utmost care. The divine dance of Krishna with sticks, playing with Krishna's friend Madhumangala, milkmaid exchange Krishna with Madhumangala, Yashoda ties Krishna in the mortar, that is the Udukhal. Krishna drags mortar and hits the trees. Nala and Kubera are released of their curse. Sutradharas sing to mark the end of the rasa and going to Vrindavan. In Manipuri dance offers the most gorgeous and exquisite costume of Ras Leela, which can claim a unique position in the history of costume design in the world. Radha and gopis wear a big skirt called the putloi or the kumin, which is one of the most gorgeous part of the entire costume. I am sure you all know that. You have seen photographs of Radha and Gopi wearing those big ghagra, which is a stiff thing all around and decorated with sequins. It is made with a shiny cloth and several different designed decorative materials and glass or crystals. The border is very broad and has a very different and unique pattern of design which is indigenous to Manipur. The entire design with silver and golden thread. Aru, the work is there. To strengthen this entire ghagra, canvas is generally used. There are other beautiful costumes for Radha and Krishna. The other half of this is the poshwan. It is used to cover the upper portion of the kumin and extends up to the knee. This is stitched with zari and cloth. It has a broad and thick border around it, which is again decorated with copper and glass. The cloth which is stitched is about 5 to 10 meters long. This also consists of the crown, which is made out of gold, glass and other materials, and is hung from the right shoulder with the help of another broad strip of decorated materials. From the left shoulder, it ends at the right hip. To tie this with the poloi and crown, there is khangoi and khangnop, which are equally and similarly decorated. This costume has two types of ornaments for the head. One is the koktumbi and the other is the chapa. The former is used in Maharasa, Kunjarasa and Vasantarasa. This is either made with the hair of the person wearing it or with cardboard and is decorated beautifully with shiny decorative materials. Chabalei is zari, made with artificial pearls and is hung from one side of the koktumbi. This is worn in the center of the head. Samaji thet is a crystal made band and Samaji makhong is a silver colored band which is stitched with this. Kokunam is yet another cloth with decorative items which is worn on the forehead, and maikhom is another cloth which is hung from the center of the head and eventually covers the face and at the back falls up to the hips covering it. The latter is worn by only in Nitya-rasa, which is made out of copper with lots of crystals, artificial pearls and other decorative items. This gives a gorgeous look to the attire. Damini is put at the center, which touches the forehead and ends near the ears. Karnaphool and Kuraka are worn in the ears, which is of the shape of a butterfly. On the hair, there are some common ornaments which are put like Sajiman and Sajithet, which are also made with copper or silver. The ornamentation is covered with a thin cloth. Now, the upper half of the body has certain components to it. It has Resham Furit and Thabakwet. The former is a dark green colored blouse of generally velvet and is bordered with the copper materials or even usual zari. The latter is a white cotton cloth which is used to cover the chest tightly. This is used in all other rasas except for Nitya rasa. With this, there are several ornaments that are worn in the hands and the feet. They are as follows: Tal, Sanakhuji, Tanthak, Pisindrai, Pambom Bhabi, Ratanchur and others. These are all made with gorgeous decorative items made with silver thread and artificial pearls. Some of them are also made with cloth. These are tied at different levels of the arm, like the lower end Ratanchur, middle Tankha and upper end Tal. Some of these are also worn on the feet like a nupur, and another one is worn from the second finger of the toe and is tied in the ankle. These are again made with the same materials. Ghungru may or may not be worn with this. Krishna's mukut is grandeur and has different components in it. It is made out of a black cloth called makmal and is known as the nakhum. The nakhum is decorated with decorative shiny materials. It is bordered with a silver ribbon. The mukut sits on this nakhum, which is made out of wood and wrapped in golden paper. In the center of the mukut sits the chirong, which is also wrapped in golden paper and decorated with shiny materials. The chura is fitted with this nakhum, on which the peacock feather is pinned which gives a grand look to it. The chura is decorated with artificial pearls, silver thread, golden thread, etc. Koknam is made with the same decorative materials and is a band sort of a material. On this sits the lethring or kajenglei. This is made out of copper of about 80% to 100% and is fitted with red ball like structures made with red wool. This is a circular structure which sits on the forehead. From this, the cherai is hung. It is made out of white thin strips of paper and is tied into a string. This is almost 30 centimeters long. In the outfit, Krishna generally wears a dark green kameez or blouse which may or may not have sleeves. The entire kameez is decorated with decorative materials. This is known as resham purit. The dhoti or the paijom is made out of a 4-meter yellow cloth with green border. On the waist, dhada is worn. This covers the hip to give a gorgeous look in the attire. This is made with colored cloth and silver thread. Other than these, from the right and left shoulders, 2 khaun are hung which are made with decorative items, glass and most importantly hard material cloth. The khangoi and khangnom are also tied with the paijom and khaun. Krishna also wears copper earrings known as chaumi. He wears pishingdrai, a copper circular structure worn on the chest. Krishna can wear nupur, ghungru and other items like tankha, tanthak, ratanchur, ananta, shankhuji, khanglikphang and heithru.